What's going on, everybody? It's Sasha, your licensed real estate market expert here in Charlotte. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back for another monthly market report. So in last month's market report, I said this. Please, I hope people didn't lose their sanity again. Although I know one person is going to lose their sanity and probably offer an exorbitant amount over the asking price on this house. But let's see it first. So what ended up happening with this house in question, this house was listed at $830,000. After multiple offers, it just ended up closing at $1,025,000. I'm going to say it again. Listed $830,000 and it just sold for $1,025,000. $195,000 over the list price. Almost 20% over the list price. This should give you a little bit of insight on what I've been seeing in the last month. Now, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to make your own opinion about this specific house, but I knew something like this was going to happen. But congratulations to the sellers, congratulations to the buyers. It's an absolutely beautiful home. I hope they have it for many, many years, and I hope they absolutely love it, which hopefully they do. Now, I want to move on from that. Just wanted to get that out the way because I had a couple people reach out to me. As you guys know, you can always call, text, or email me. All my information is here. I had a couple people reach out to me. I even had 2 people send me the screenshot of when the house sold because they knew I was kind of keeping my eye on it because I was just so interested due to the level of activity that the house had. So before we hop into the stats here, 2 things I want to go over with you right now that I'm seeing in this market, and I'm sure some of this stuff that you have been seeing as well. Number 1 is going to be layoffs. I've been seeing a ton of layoffs happening nationwide. Tech sector, banking sector. Mind you, Charlotte is number 2 in banking in the entire US. Lowe's, which is headquartered here in the Charlotte area, is also started doing some layoffs. To be honest with you, there is too many places to mention to kind of roll off. This is something that I need you guys to pay attention to because this can affect more houses coming on the market. If people are getting laid off, if people overextended themselves in regards to buying a home, there might be more houses coming on the market soon. However, once we hop into the stats, you'll see that there's still a lot of activity happening. And in the last month, it's been ramping up an absolute ton. Interest rates are not really dipping down. Right now, depending on your credit score, depending on your down payment and a couple different factors, you're looking at about a 6.5% to 7% interest rate with our prices still remaining relatively high. Keep an eye out on interest rates. In my opinion, they need to stay high because we need to balance this market out. We can't be going up and down with the seasonality as we have. Something eventually has to give. Keep your eyes on those 2 things and make sure if you're in the process of buying a house, if you're thinking about buying a house in these next couple of months, make sure you know where you stand with your current situation and your current finances. Second thing, I've been reaching out to a ton of sellers and I have my personal favorite neighborhoods outlined and marked out. And you guys know I'm a real estate nerd when it comes to numbers. So some of my favorite neighborhoods, I've just been going in on my free time and looking at property tax records, seeing kind of what's going on with these houses. I don't have an exact number and I couldn't find an exact number. If I was to put a number on it, right now I'm seeing roughly 1 in 50 houses being tax delinquent. Our property tax assessments come out usually September, October, and they become delinquent if they're not paid by the first week of January. This is something that I've been seeing and could cause people to list their houses on the market because if you're not able to pay your taxes, you might be looking at a potential foreclosure unless you can make do. The reason that we're seeing a lot more tax delinquencies pop up in the Charlotte area is because the property values got so high and the county kept raising the property taxes that some people that overstretch their budget can't afford to pay the property taxes on the house. So something eventually is going to have to give. These 2 things I want you guys to be very weary of and just look out for. This crazy market cannot last forever. Eventually, something has to give. How much is it going to give? I don't know. This is a day-by-day process. Right now, the market's crazy. We're seeing a lot of buyers come off the sidelines. But the good news is we did see a very good jump in new listings. And if we're seeing that right now, the stats we go over are from the month of February. So if we're seeing that jump in the month of February, come June, July, August, there's a pretty good chance that our inventory continues to grow. And one of, if not the biggest thing that's propping up, that's keeping these prices at where they are, is supply and demand, our low inventory. With that being said, let's hop into the stats so you guys can take a look at the actual numbers and make the best possible decision for yourself and for your family. As always, call, text, or email me anytime. Do me a favor, if you got some value, if you like this video, just hit that like button for me. That's all I ask in return. So in regards to new listings, we had 4,180 new listings in the month of February, and that is a 19.7% increase from this time last year. If you take a look at 22 and 23, they were both in the negatives. Negative 9.7, negative 16.2. We've had a 20% increase in new listings year over year. I do think this is going to continue to go. I don't think we're going to have a boom of inventory coming, but seeing a 20% increase year over year is a very good sign that we're going to continue to see this trajectory as we head into the lot more busier months. Also on the same page, pending sales. We came in at 3,805 home sales pending in the month of February. That is a 4.6% increase year over year. And just like the new listings, it is also the first time we've been in a positive in the last 3 years. So new listings up almost 20%, pending sales up 5%. We have that 15% discrepancy there, which is a good thing as far as building up the inventory as we go. Now let's move on to days on market, which came in at 44, and that is an 8.3% decrease from this time last year. So houses are selling quicker than they were this time last year, but the average days on market is still 44. I just got one of my listings under contract in Gastonia, and I told my sellers, hey, based off of all these numbers, based off the comp reports, your house is probably going to sell within 60 to 90 days. Sure enough, as soon as we passed that 60-day mark, like clockwork, we got an offer and got under contract. It's very interesting how some of these numbers can be so accurate when you focus in on a specific neighborhood or a specific area versus taking the whole thing into consideration. So even though the average days on market until the sale is 44, you have a lot of houses that I've been seeing the past couple of weeks sell with multiple offers and selling within the first day or two. And you also have the other side of the spectrum where houses are sitting for weeks, if not months. Now let's get into the prices. Average sales price came in at just under $467,000, and that is an 11% increase from this time last year. Averages take into consideration all of the homes. The houses we have listed at $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, and also the multi-million-dollar homes that we have for sale in the market. So a lot of those multi-million-dollar homes are bringing everything up, but as prices have continued to rise these last couple of years, that threshold is very stable, and that's why we keep kind of seeing these increases. Because average sales price, when it was $300,000, it was kept trickling around over in that same ballpark. Now that we've gone through this kind of market boom and these houses have increased in value so much, the average sales price just kind of flows with that. So in regards to that, our all-time high for average sales price was $485,000, and right now we're sitting at just under $467,000. So we are down from our all-time highs, but year over year we are up 11% for average sales price. Next up is median home sales price, which is what I like to look at more than the average sales price. Median home sales price came in at $385,000. That is an 8.5% increase from this time last year. However, it's down $15,000 from our all-time highs. We can see we're starting to go up as far as the median sales price goes. It's such an interesting counterbalance. We keep teeter-tottering a little by little. There's been no major swings in either direction. One thing that I want to touch on that I should have mentioned a little bit more in the beginning of the video, when the market boom was going crazy, a lot of sellers were listing on the highest side potentially possible. They were trying to get the highest dollar amount, even if that meant knowing that their neighbor sold their house for $515. They said, hey, I want $530 for mine. I saw the activity they wanted. I want $530 for mine. And they were getting it. That now has course corrected, and that is over. Now in a lot of these neighborhoods, when you look at the comparable sales, they've gone down in price. So now we're seeing a lot more sellers list their houses at more realistic prices. That's also what's causing the activity. It's what's causing the open houses being completely full. It's what's causing multiple offer situations. Anytime you have a house or anything, if it's priced right, it's going to sell and you're gonna have more demand. So right now we're seeing a lot more sellers list their price accordingly with today's market, which in turn, again, is teeter-tottering because now you're still getting back to multiple offers. But just keep in mind, every house varies. One house sits, the other house sells for $195,000 over the listed price. Now let's jump into the percentage of the original list price received, which came in at 96.9. That is a 1.8% increase from this time last year. What this number is telling you is that on average, you can expect to pay 3.1% under the listed price of a home when it's closed. Again, take this with a grain of salt. It varies by a case-by-case basis. Now let's get into our most loved, most hated stat there is, which is what's causing the prices to stay where they are, the prices to continue to go up in certain areas, and that is months of inventory. We came in at 1.6 months of inventory in February, but it's a 14.3% increase from this time last year. We saw the new listings jump. We're seeing months of inventory go up. What this means is 1.6 months. If the market continues the way that it has, if everybody stopped and decided not to list their house, we only had the houses that are on the market currently, within 1.6 months, all of those houses would be gone. I think this will go up. All I am hoping for is that we get over 2 months of inventory, ideally up to about 2.5 months of inventory. As long as it's more, we're heading in the right direction. The market's been crazy these past couple years. This past month, with the amount of activity that I've seen, it's going to be very interesting. Make sure you guys have subscribed so you can keep up with all of this information, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.